I'm 78 years old. And there's a truth that didn't settle into me until most of my life was already behind me. I learned too late that love doesn't survive on intention alone. It needs daily care, the ordinary kind, the kind I kept postponing. I'm not telling this because I need mercy or forgiveness. I'm telling it because I don't have much time left, and this is one thing I know for sure now. When time is nearly gone, clarity has a way of arriving without asking permission. Most days now are quiet for me. Too quiet, if I'm honest. I wake up early, not because I want to, but because sleep doesn't stay anymore. I sit at the small kitchen table and listen to the house breathing, pipes clicking, the refrigerator humming. That's the closest thing to conversation I hear some mornings. I didn't expect old age to feel like this. I thought it would feel earned, settled. Instead, it feels unanswered. I've spent a lot of time thinking about where things went wrong, not in a dramatic way, more in the way you replay small moments when there's nothing else left to do. The truth is, nothing went wrong all at once. That's what makes it so hard to explain. My life didn't collapse. It slowly drifted. When I was younger, in my 20s and 30s, I thought love was something you secured once and then protected by providing. I thought if I worked hard, stayed loyal, stayed out of trouble, that was enough. Nobody told me love was more like a living thing. Something that needed attention even on the days you were tired or busy or irritated. I met my wife when I was 26. She laughed easily then, at small things, at nothing. She had this way of asking questions that made you feel seen, even when she already knew the answer. We weren't reckless. We planned carefully. Marriage, a modest home, children we could afford, a life that made sense. And for a long time, I thought that was love, doing what made sense. I worked constantly, not because I loved my job, but because I believed that was what stability looked like. I told myself I was doing it for us, for the future. She would ask me how my day was. I would tell her the facts, not the feeling. At the time, I didn't know there was a difference that mattered. There were dinners where she talked and I half listened. Not because I didn't care, but because my mind was already on the next obligation. I thought there would be time later to listen properly. There were weekends when she wanted to go somewhere or just sit together, and I told her I needed rest, or quiet, or space. I wasn't cruel, I wasn't unfaithful, I wasn't absent in the obvious ways. That's what makes this harder to accept. I thought love failed loudly when it failed. I didn't know it could fade politely. Years passed. Children came and grew. Bills came and were paid. Life moved forward like it was supposed to. But there were signs, small ones, easy to dismiss. She stopped telling me things unless I asked. She stopped waiting up for me when I worked late. She started doing things on her own without mentioning them. At the time, I told myself she was independent, strong. I was proud of that. I didn't understand that independence can be a kind of surrender. There were moments I remember clearly now. Her standing in the doorway while I watched the news. Her saying, "Never mind," when I asked what was wrong. Her getting quiet in arguments instead of fighting back. I thought quiet meant peace. I didn't know it could mean exhaustion. I kept postponing connection. After this deadline, after this phase, after things settled down, I was always reaching toward a future where there would finally be room for us. But the future keeps moving when you do that. The cost didn't announce itself. It accumulated. Missed conversations, assumptions left uncorrected, moments where reassurance would have mattered. and I stayed silent because it felt unnecessary. I assumed she knew I loved her. I didn't know love needed to be demonstrated in the present tense. Then one day, she got sick. Not suddenly, gradually. The kind of illness that creeps in and rearranges your life quietly before you realize what's happening. I went with her to appointments. I sat in waiting rooms. I thought I was showing up. But even then, I treated it like a problem to manage, something to handle efficiently. I didn't slow down the way I should have. I didn't let myself feel the weight of losing time with her while there was still time left. There was a night in the hospital I remember more than any other. She was tired. The kind of tired that isn't just physical. She held my hand and said, "I wish we had talked more." That was it. No accusation, no anger, just that. I didn't know what to say. I thought I would have another chance to respond better later. She died a few weeks after that. People tell you death brings clarity. That's only partly true. It brings silence, and in that silence, clarity has no place to hide. After the funeral, the house felt wrong. Every room carried evidence of conversations we never fully had. I found notes she'd written herself, things she didn't say out loud anymore. Not dramatic things, just thoughts, observations, worries. She had been lonely next to me. That realization sits heavier than grief. There are things you can't fix once you see them clearly. You can only live with the knowledge. I can't go back and listen better. I can't choose presence over distraction anymore. I can't turn intention into action retroactively. That's something nobody prepares you for. The math of regret doesn't allow edits. Now at this age, people see me and assume my life must feel complete. Long marriage, children, stability. But completion and fulfillment are not the same thing. You can finish a life and still leave important parts untouched. Loneliness doesn't always come from being alone. Sometimes it comes from realizing how alone someone else felt because of you. I talk to my children now. We have polite conversations, caring ones. But there's a distance that remains. They knew their mother in ways I didn't allow myself to know her. That's a quiet kind of shame. If you're listening to this, I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm not here to correct your life. I only want to tell you what I wish I had understood. Love doesn't wait. It doesn't stockpile goodwill for later use. It survives on the small, frequent acts that say, "I'm here with you now." Not tomorrow, not once things calm down, now. I thought love was durable. I didn't know it was perishable. I wish I had sat longer at the table, turned off the television, asked better questions and waited patiently for the answers. I wish I hadn't assumed time was endless just because it felt routine. There's no villain in my story, just a man who meant well and believed delay was harmless. I don't tell this to frighten you, only to be honest. Some lessons don't arrive loudly. They come when there's little use for them. At 78, my days are simpler now. I take walks slowly. I care for small things carefully. I understand finally what daily care looks like. I just don't have many places left to apply it. If this meant something to you, you don't need to respond. Just hold it quietly. That's enough. As for me, I'll keep sitting at this table in the mornings, listening to the house breathe, remembering the voice I didn't listen to carefully enough when it was still filling the room. That's the truth, and it's all I have left to give.